All right, come and sit down. Sit down with me and let's have a talk about XRP and the future of XRP and the expectation of price as we move forward. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. I guess we don't have to all be on the same page. I want to share what I think about something, okay? So if you want to be here and listen to what I think about these price predictions, the expectations that we have for XRP down the line, and in the short term, then stick around. And if you enjoy this video, please hit subscribe, share it with someone that you want to know more about crypto and XRP, and let's get into it. So the first thing I want to touch on is the way in which price predictions are received by the community in general, right? So when somebody says $1,000 for XRP, everybody and their dog, even the dog, is sat in the corner going, oh, what's that mean for my portfolio? Like, we all do it. We all hear the number, we look at how many tokens we've got, multiply them together and think, holy moly, I'm gonna be rich. I'm going to be so rich. I'm going to be so rich. It's kind of beyond what I can even fathom. And as a result, I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to happen. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I'm not going to make any plans. I'm not going to do anything about it when prices start to go up. It's so much obscene wealth that I'm going to get. I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to watch it go and hold on forever. That's fine as a mentality if that's completely in alignment with you, but I want to just suggest, when you hear $1,000 for as a price point, let's say $1,000 is the peak, you're assuming that you will just time the peak as well as everyone else. Everyone's just going to time the peak and just go, okay, $1,000, boom, there we go, I've got that much money. And you're also assuming that you're going to sell at that point, right? Because if you want $1 million, oh God, I've done it again. I've started doing maths live on camera. Let's say your portfolio has gone up to $100,000, or 100 million, doesn't matter. And you don't take that money out, the price will inevitably go back down and you will no longer have that money. That's called unrealized profit, right? In order to realize the profit, which means turn it into reality, you have to take profits, right? So I think it's because the way we do the numbers, we hear $1,000 or $10,000 for XRP, that's going to turn me into a trillionaire type of deal. It creates this inaction in us, and I don't think it's useful, but it also creates an expectation that that's how it's going to go, and an expectation that you're going to time the top you're actually going to sell at that time. You're going to sell without a plan, just based on you knowing that it's time to sell. I will say that for having seen this so many times, you never know when it's time to sell. Like, emotionally, you always feel like it's going to keep going higher. And so what I've talked to over 200 people now personally for an hour each. Like, that's a lot of time to spend with people in this audience. So I like to think that I know you quite well. The general consensus is the expectation of XRP is so real and dead set at those high numbers that any number lower than that is kind of disregarded as insufficient. And I want to put this out there. This bull run, we are likely to see between $7 to $13 for XRP. If you look at the current price, I don't know what it is, 50 cents or something. That's a massive multiple on your money. Massive multiple. Like, that is massive performance. Expecting the percentage growth to $1,000 from 50 cents is, in one bull run, certainly, like insanity. Truly. But you'll understand that is an absolute monumental move in XRP. You have to agree. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on the XRP world, whether you should hodl everything or just take profits. I don't care what side. The monumental growth from 50 cents to $1,000 is absolutely unbelievable. So if we convince ourselves that $1,000 is going to happen constantly, and that's the only thing in our mind that shapes the way we act in the world, we are in reality, basing our hopes and expectations on something unbelievable. That sentence should be raise a little bit of concern, I think. And now I'm also saying you should also have a portion of your portfolio that rides all the way to the top and makes a massive impact on your wealth. But if we're talking about like the expectations for this upcoming bull run, I think we need to reduce expectations, or at least at the very least be aware that the expectations we might currently have are perhaps beyond reality for the short term. I'm going to make loads of people angry with this. I thought I was going to articulate this a lot better than I am, and you can tell this is not scripted. Let me look at my notes here, because I was writing my notes for this, and I was thinking, yeah, I've got stuff to say, and I'm realizing I'm not articulating it in the best way that I want to. It's really fundamental that the expectation of what's going to happen to your portfolio is, I think, in direct relation to the result you get. Let me develop on that thought. So, for example, I've got a student in the program who I think previously will have believed that in this bull run, they're going to become insanely rich. Insanely rich. I think they've probably got a moderate portfolio size. I'm guessing, but probably in the region of $50,000 to $100,000 in their entire portfolio. The price predictions that we talk about, or the wider community talks about, $1,000, $10,000 per XRP, has created this vision of the next 4 years for this person as in the next 4 years I'm going to be a trillionaire or like a multi-billionaire. And so what's happened in the end is looking at it rationally and allowing for a portion to hold on to and allowing for a portion to take advantage of in the bull run. That person's just realized, it's their expectation has been changed, and their expectation is now, I am expecting to go through this bull run, to go on a massive learning process. I'll be really well profitable. There'll be nothing else in the world that would have made me more profitable than this. But it's not the move. This isn't my move to get to the $1 billion, right? This is my move to go from 50 to 100 to all the way up to maybe like 1 million. That's a reasonable jump, right? That's a 10x, maybe a 20x on the portfolio to get to $1 million from there. And that's where their expectation is now set, not in the like 10,000x that they were led to believe watching kind of everything else on YouTube. And so because the expectation is different, the way she's now planning her future is different, because now she's looking at this as in stages. Okay, in this stage, I'm going to develop the plan. I'm going to implement the plan. I'm going to take profits at these points. I'm going to buy back in at the bottom and have more purchase power at the bottom. And then maybe that next move is the one that gets me to 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. And I think that's a lot more of a healthy view than imagining you right now have a $10,000 portfolio and thinking XRP is going to make me a 100 millionaire when it gets to $10,000. That's just not, it's just not useful. And it's certainly as a thing to consider in the short term. Like, it's not useful for the short term. If you are so inclined to hold on forever and ever and ever and just hold out for the price points that may or may not come, that's up to you. I like to be rooted kind of a bit more in an area of expectation based closer to reality, and with a more plan, more proactive and more like methodical. Here's stage 1, here's stage 2, here's stage 3. And I think it all comes down to your expectation. It's the same with anything, actually. Your expectation. If I pick that coffee up and I hold it to my mouth and I go, my expectation is going to be really sweet. It's like going to be a really sweet coffee. But then you realize when you drink it, it's actually really bitter. Like, your expectations were misaligned. If you had ordered a bitter coffee, like a really dark black coffee, you would have been prepared for it and it wouldn't have felt bad. How you respond to the world after that would be different. Like, if I think that's going to be sweet I drink it and it's really bitter, it's like ruined that part of my day, and now it's like infected my mood, and now my day has not been very good, and now my week's not been very good, and I'm kind of catastrophizing there, but you get the point. If my expectation was that it was going to be a really nice bitter black coffee, and then I drink it, I'm like, yes, that satisfied me. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but it's the expectation of what you were having and what you were getting that changed the whole thing, you know? And so expectation is like a really important lesson I want to bring in here. Now, I give a lot of lessons like these, just the things that I'm learning. They're slightly, I know these videos aren't going to get as many views, I know that, but I'm really sharing my view of the world. And if you enjoy that, I do that from time to time on my newsletter. I actually post about the videos that I post on here. On my newsletter, I post about student successes in the program. I'm proud of those, but also it shows you that you can do these things, you can get the same results. And also I share mentality things like this that might be useful, that will just shape your day potentially and change the way you look at the world, because it is the way we look at the world that changes the outcomes that we see in the world. So if you want to get those installments 3 times a week, the link is in the description to join my newsletter. And with that said, and I just want to say this video is coming out on the 12th of November, I believe. Now remember, the XRP Unleashed documentary is right out there for you to like pre-order right now. Today they're in Scottsdale, Arizona, doing an in-person one-night special event where you can meet the cast and crew and watch the documentary live in a theater. But tomorrow they're in Houston on the 13th. On the 14th, they're in Atlanta, the 15th in Washington, D.C., 16th in New York City, 17th in Boston, 19th in Los Angeles. If you want to attend one of these in-person events, go to fruitionproductions.com. And also, if you want to buy the pre-sale tickets to watch the documentary when it comes out, which, when is this coming out? 21st of November. It's $15. Just go to fruitionproductions.com to check that out. All right. Stay emotionless. I'll see you in the next one.